All right, welcome into the Tap-In Tavern in Bismarck, North Dakota. It is time for the Bobcats Coaches Show here on Super Talk Pub 70 and Facebook Live. Layne Sedevie with us, Bobcat head coach. Just heard the weather forecast. It's 96 right now outside, again for the second straight Wednesday.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I guess enjoy it while you can. I mean, it's probably supposed to be around maybe low 80s, 70s this time of the year, but hey, we'll take it. It's going to be cold before you know it.
How'd you use your morning at least while it was pretty humid out?
Well, we ran 18 miles and it wasn't very fun, I can tell you that. Haven't had the most luck on our long runs for the humidity and the heat. I mean, you start at 7 and you run for 3 hours, and by the time you get done, it's not very friendly for a runner. So, but got to do the work.
How'd Laz do?
He did good. Yeah, I mean, he had one bad week in our training, and ever since then, he looks like the little mini pony that keeps on trucking.
The little mini pony that keeps on trucking.
I think he's related to Holty.
Does Holty like running?
No, but Holty's the mini pony.
It's funny because so many guys on this Bobcat team, Patrick Johnson, the captain being one, cannot stand running. And yet you and Hunter Laslo do nothing but run.
Well, I don't know if Hunter enjoys it. It's yet to be decided. We'll see once he runs a marathon and see what he wants to do after that. I mean, that's the goal, and he's either going to be hooked or he's probably never going to run again. I think that's kind of the way people go after that experience.
Well, I saw your Instagram post about every mile and a pace per mile. You were consistently at 8.5, 9.5 minutes. That's 6-7 miles an hour consistently until the final couple of miles where you're pretty much sprinting it out.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of your long runs are, supposed to be a bit slower than what your goal pace is, and then depending on your heart rate, if you can push the last few miles, it's beneficial to where you try and stay in that anaerobic state to where you can build your base mileage. A lot of your runs are supposed to be easy, especially your long runs. So it was a good run. Not nice weather. I can say that. I'm looking forward to fall.
Fall's coming up pretty soon. Hockey's coming up pretty soon. Bobcats have had essentially 3 scrimmage games in the books already since we last talked to you. On Saturday, Team Gold versus Team Black scrimmage. Inter-squad won by Team Black 4-3. Then the Bobcats took on the Wings yesterday at Wachter Ice Arena for 2 games. Bobcats won them both 2-1 in the first game and 3-1 in the second game. Everybody on the 33-man training camp roster getting a go in all 3 scrimmages. So what's the feeling now that you've had 3 scrimmages under your belt, whereas at this time last year you had to wait till Watford to really make your initial impressions?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's I guess I don't put much stake into the scrimmage against our own team. It was nice to play somebody else. I just think it's just different. The intensity, guys finishing checks, the other team, coming at you. The second game got a little chippy, and I think that's what you lack in an inter-squad scrimmage. So I don't put a lot of value in our inter-squad scrimmage. I liked what I seen yesterday out of our group. To say it was expected, I don't think anything's expectations. I was just happy with that. Our returners, I thought, played very well, and that's what I want to see. Our young guys did a nice job, chipping in too. So that's where it's nice, talking with Steve to get that game in. I know they go play North Iowa now, and we go play Minot. So, to have another game and hopefully nobody on their team got hurt, and I think we came away pretty good. So, all in all, I think it's a good experience.
Yeah, did you like how chippy and physical the games were, especially Game 2?
Well, that's the way rivalries. They don't start because there's already one there, but you got league officials, and everything was pretty much game-like. So that's where probably the best part about it is having our guys being able to or having our guys put in those situations where, their guys are bearing down on them and they got to take a hit to make a play. I mean, that's game-like situations, and that to me is the difference between our inter-squad scrimmage and yesterday, where I thought our guys handled it fairly well.
Do you feel like that puts you in a good spot to be ready for another rivalry weekend in Minot coming up?
Yeah, I mean, I think it definitely prepares us, more than not playing it. That's for sure. I think, especially probably our young guys. I think our veteran guys know what to expect, and but just the pace. I think it's watching our inter squad scrimmage and. At times just guys trying to do too much and turn pucks over, and I think it's just it just has that real feeling when you're playing somebody else when you make a mistake, or the game-like situations are just, to me, so much more magnified, and guys react differently when I would say they have more freedom, in an inter-squad scrimmage per se. But I think it definitely helps us to get ready for the weekend and on into the showcase.
On that point, how much pressure might there be if you know you're a bubble guy to maybe shoot the puck more and try to show you can score or do something you're meant to do?
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the game. I mean, that's right. That's why I think players at this level either make the team or they don't. I mean, it is what it is. It's a pressure sport, and to me, those guys rise up to the occasion. They get the job done, and that's the difference. I mean, it's little things. It's executing our structure and our systems, all that sort of stuff, and I liked. I was going into the day. Probably prepared to cut 7-8 guys. We only cut 3, so 4 of them I thought did a nice job and earned another opportunity this weekend in Minot. So I think we'll end up going there with 30 guys, and we'll make some more cuts going into the showcase. Probably have around 26, 27 somewhere in there in the ballpark. So but I thought they did a nice job, and at the end of the day, I mean, it's the tough part about the job, but it is a pressure situation. I mean, they have to rise to the occasion if they want to make the team.
You talked about how tough it was, the worst part of your job, cutting guys yesterday. When you go into it, do you have a self-reminder that this game, while it being about wins and losses, scoring goals and whatnot, has a very human side to it?
Yeah, I think that's the part that you can't prepare yourself for. I've probably done I don't know how many hundreds of meetings where I've either traded a kid or released a kid, and you just have no idea what direction it's going to go, and quite frankly how bad you're going to feel after it. There's nothing really to prepare you for it, even though been through it a lot. It's the human nature part of the job that it's just not fun. There's no way to prep you for it, and a lot of times, Corey, there's not right answers either. They're obviously getting information that they don't want to hear, and sometimes they don't agree with the decision. And at the end of the day, at least in this program, we try and find guys a home. If we do release them, if we do let them go, and try and do the best job that we can to find them a home. That's the to me, when they come here and they give you almost 3 weeks and you see how hard they work, it's the least we can do.
How do you try to make sure there aren't any hard feelings afterwards?
Yeah, that's the tough part. I mean, some kids take it really well, some kids don't, and I think certain meetings go. Probably as good as they can, and certain meetings just they don't go maybe as planned. So, it's one of those things where you try and do the best job that you can explaining, why we made the decision, what we didn't see or what we would have liked to see, and try and give them feedback. For some guys it's their last year of junior hockey, and those ones really sting, and some guys have a couple years. So hopefully the information that they do get can be beneficial, and if they do try and make either our team or another team in the North American Hockey League, they have a better chance.
Okay, talking about the people who have made the cut, the returners who've, of course, the dozen returners who made the cut already, but the new guys who were trying for spots have made the cut at least through the Watford City games coming up on Friday and Saturday. What do you like overall about those guys as a group?
Well, I mean, I thought we worked pretty hard yesterday. I mean, I thought we dictated a lot of the play, and I think you can. talking with Steve, I think they've been on the ice 6 days, and they haven't been on the ice as long as we have. And I didn't actually feel that comfortable going into yesterday. It felt way better after yesterday. I don't even care that we won. Just to me, with our structure and where I feel that we're at, I didn't feel very good after our inter-squad scrimmage. It was slow. It was no pace. There was not any puck movement. It was all individualistic, and I just didn't like it. I almost look back, and I don't know. I wish we wouldn't have played the game. Then again, it was, there was some people there and understand that part of it too. But I didn't have a good feeling. I know we got returners back, but quite frankly, to me, it doesn't mean anything. This group has to, they have to want it. There's guys in that room that know how to get the job done. They've been here. They know how hard it is to win in this league. And if you don't do that, it's going to humble you in a hurry. So, I like the fact that, against, another team in our division that they showed up and they worked. And I think through our lineup, really at the end of the day, that's all we're asking is to have work ethic. If we can have work ethic, we can watch film, we can correct mistakes, and we can get the group going in the right direction.
You gave me the gears about, well, I hope there's coaches film last week. Maybe kind of hope there wasn't after that game.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, but the nice part was well, you sent it in a goofy format.
I did?
Well, I shouldn't say, I actually liked it.
Okay.
Laz did not like it.
No, Laz gave me an angry phone call while I was on my off hours about the film.
Yeah. But I liked how you sent it because we could actually pick 15 of those clips, and quite frankly, we probably never had that going into yesterday. And we could show them, some of our structure, some good clips, some bad clips, and I think that actually probably helped them see it. I think that's the way players learn. Quite frankly, I think it's the way coaches learn. And when we go back and watch film, we had sat down as a group and watched it before we picked what clips and what to show. But to me, it at the end of the day, I didn't like what the product was, but I liked the fact that we had the clips, in order to be prepared for. At the end of the day, I know it's an inter-squad scrimmage against Aberdeen, but you want to be prepared, and that's our job as coaches to, these kids have a lot of pressure on them, and they need to understand what their jobs are, and if that's on our forecheck or our neutral zone or our D zone, they got to understand their assignments and where we want them.
Well, the Bobcats go to Watford City for 2 games against Minot, 4th annual war in Watford City. Both games there this year, Friday at 8 o'clock and Saturday at 7 o'clock. Both games here on the radio and on Facebook Live. Friday on Cool 98.7 at 8 o'clock and Saturday at 7 on Super Talk 1270. When you guys take on Minot in the preseason, which is nothing new, now the 4th straight year you've done that in Watford City, what do you expect?
I just expect our guys to keep progressing. That's what I want to see. We do have, we probably have, we were talking with our captains, we're probably close to the same numbers as we have right now going up there. I don't know exactly what we had last year, but we hadn't made any cuts. I know that because we hadn't played anybody. So, similar numbers. At the end of the day, in exhibition, I don't put too much value into what Aberdeen did yesterday, what Minot does this week, and we're trying to get ready for the showcase and what really matters, and that's on Wednesday when the puck drops. So I want to see our guys that are trying to make this team do whatever they can to make the team and put their best foot forward and try and solidify those last few roster spots. I think that's a huge point of emphasis this weekend, and really just keep kind of fine-tuning our structure and making sure that we're understanding assignments and our roles, so that when we do get to the showcase on Wednesday, we don't have any big hiccups.
Well, last year, the feeling of that Watford City game, especially that second game, was it's a rivalry, and preseason or not, 2 points on the line or not, it's going to be a rivalry-type feel. How do you get guys who are not from Minot or Bismarck or anywhere in North Dakota who have not experienced the rivalry before, aside from being on the sidelines, if at all, into the thick of things and tell them, hey, we don't like these guys, we'll play like it's a rivalry? How do you get the guys ingrained into it?
Yeah, I think it's just, even going back to game 59 and game 60, I mean, it's just we have a good amount of guys that were in that locker room that are still in that locker room, and part of me, that's the good reason. One of the good reasons that we played Aberdeen. I mean, it was not a friendly game. The second game, there were some call it liberties or whatever you want to call it. There's a rivalry in Aberdeen too, so I think our guys should be prepared for it. And I mean, that's just the probably one of the great things about our division and the proximity of how close Aberdeen and mine it is, and they're great rivalries. So whether it's exhibition or regular season, I think both teams, they know what's at stake.
What is at stake aside from bragging rights?
That's it.
That's enough to cause a couple fights, some scuffles, and all that?
Time will tell.
All right. First time I'm going to ask this question of many. Did you like your power play yesterday?
I liked our power play in the first game. I liked our first power play attempt in the second game. I thought they moved it like the 1980 Globetrotters. Maybe the best puck movement I've ever seen out of a power play, and then for the next 6, they didn't want to move the puck. So the good news is we have actually some film to watch, and I think we're going to keep those units probably. There might be a change here or there, but for the most part, I thought we got some good looks. I thought we could have another power play goal in the first game that just missed. But I mean, at the end of the day, it shows you how crucial power play is. I mean, it's a game-winning goal in the game 1. So, I think there's good things, there's bad things, and again, we had a stellar performance by the guy doing film up there that we have film and we can watch it and break it down.
Do you want film in the old format for this one? I can give it to you.
That's it doesn't bother me.
Okay.
You can ask the other guy.
Just bothers that guy.
Yeah, he didn't like that he had to sit there and click so many times, but
after running 18 miles, who can blame him?
Yeah, I mean it's one of those things. He gets a little sensitive, so you better ask him. I'm fine either way.
All right. Well, Luke Roelofs and Chase Beacom are coming up on the show, and we have to acknowledge it. You named Nico Chmielewski and Patrick Johnson your 2 co-captains before camp. Back on Monday, you name Roley and Beeks the 2 A's. How was that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's exciting. Not many guys in the program get to wear letters. I think it's a big responsibility, and I think looking at our leadership group, I just feel like those 2 guys complement Nico and Patty. The nice part is they're on the back end, so now we have 2 from each side. But just the way they play on the ice, they're what this program's all about. I mean, Luke Roelofs shows up every day. Both of them are great human beings, and Luke, brings it every night. And I think everybody knows what Chase Beacom does, and he's an absolute magnet out there. Lays out, to me, pretty easy picks based off of character and what they mean to this program. So. Really happy for both of them. It's pretty cool when you get to wear a letter, and I think it just it's pretty fitting that both those guys are in those roles, and I think they're going to do a fantastic job.
Do you think Chase is sick and tired of hearing about how many shots he blocks?
I hope not, because I hope he never stops. I think it's I would like it to be a little more contagious. To some of the new guys and even the forwards. I think it's we've had some great forwards that are Austin Schwartz, Jacob Marty, some guys that really do a fantastic job getting in the way of pucks. But to me that's what your penalty kill and the foundation of your hockey team. It's got to be about character. And I think if you look back on our group last year, I think Chase was a huge part of that, even though he didn't have a letter. Everybody knew what he did on the ice for our team, and I don't think we get to where we did last year to have a chance to clinch and be able to play in the playoffs if we didn't have good character. I mean, it was probably one of the hardest times, I think, going to the rink when we weren't winning a game on a weekend for quite some time, and the group was they stuck with it. We didn't have a day off, and to me, they just kept wanting to get better, in the end, they found a way to get the job done. But I think the character that Beaks and Roley and those guys wearing C's and even other guys in that locker room. I addressed the group. I said, I don't care if I have to give out 2 more A's. I know there's a lot of returners, and if somebody emerges as a leader, I've done it throughout the course of my coaching career where, I feel like guys have, have evolved into leaders and given them an A during the middle of the year. And I personally hope that's the case, because I think there are guys that were, in the conversation to wear an A, along with the 2 that you're going to talk to.
When you have, a dozen returners, it makes it hard to pick who it's going to be.
Yeah, and I think, like I touched on in the previous question that you asked me. I mean, I think it's I do think there are other guys that are capable of being leaders, and again, it's a big reason why we had success at the end of last year, and how far that group really came.
All right, the Bobcats getting set to go to Watford City on Friday and Saturday for 2 preseason games. You'll hear them right here on Super Talk 1270. Layne, thanks so much.
Thanks, Corey.
All right, you'll hear from the 2 guys who are going to be wearing A's. Chase Beacom, Luke Roelofs coming up. This is the Bobcat Coaches Show on Super Talk 1270. All right, back on the Bobcat Coaches Show here on Super Talk 1270. Bobcats getting set for 2 preseason games in Watford City at the Rough Riders Center against Minot Friday at 8 o'clock, Saturday at 7. You'll hear Friday's game on Cool 98.7 and Saturdays on Super Talk 1270. Also on Facebook Live on the Bobcats Facebook page. Luke Roelofs joins us on the Bobcat Coaches Show. Rolly, how are you?
Good, how are you, Corey?
Oh, good to have you back here, first of all.
I know, yeah, it feels good.
What was your reaction when, for one, you got the A on Monday?
Yep.
Well, for one, when you got the A on Monday, what was your reaction when Layne told you in front of everybody?
You know, it was pretty exciting. I wasn't really expecting him to do it that day, and he told me over the summer that I had potential to do it, and I just feel pretty honored to be wearing that A this year and have guys look up to me, ask me questions, let me know when they're struggling, and just be a guy that the younger guys can look up to. So that's pretty special to me.
Well, being the alternate captain, 1 of 2, means you're going to be on the Coaches Show more often. How do you feel about that?
Pretty good. I enjoy doing it. Get to talk to you. Answer some questions, let people know what the weekend's going to be like, let them know who we're playing, if it's home or away, whether or not. But yeah, I'm excited to be back on here.
How about going to Watford City? How do you feel about that?
Good. I thought we were talking about it yesterday. We thought it was in Mountain Time, but you actually drive through Mountain Time
Yep.
and then back into the Central Time. But I'm excited. I think it gives guys a chance to get their feet wet a little more, play in like a game-like situations to prepare for the showcase next week, which will be huge. And I think it'll just prepare us to get ready for that, like 4 games in 4 days. It's not easy to do. So I think that'll be good for us, returners and new guys especially, to see what junior hockey's like more. And that I think that'll help us lead better into the showcase next week.
What was it like getting 2 games under your belt with Aberdeen in town, couple of scrimmages, you win them both. You had a couple of fisticuffs with some of the wings out there, some two-handers.
Oh, yeah. Those guys, the returning guys from last year, that's just kind of how they play. And you got to expect that when you play them, those bigger guys. It's just part of the game, you know. It's not easy, and some guys are going to give you a two-hand, a little slash, but you just got to keep battling through it and just play hard and continue on to your next shift and just finish the game out.
What about the experience? How'd you feel about, obviously having played a full year with the Bobcats, but playing your first real couple games here of year 2?
Yeah, it feels good. I think we got a good core group back. I think we have 12, 13 guys back. So it's kind of similar to last year, playing with similar guys, and then just having those new guys jump right in, and they're going to have to play a role this year. But yeah, it's good to be back and playing with the guys and just back to the grind. You know, it feels good.
What's the grind like?
Well, it consists of workouts and skates and bags and, you know, just some tough days. But after that, you can recover for the rest of the day, do whatever you want, go golf, go to the river, whatever. But yeah, it's been good. This training camp this year has been good. A lot of new guys. But yeah, it just feels good to be back.
Hearing Layne and Last talk about their 18-mile runs, does that inspire you to maybe train for a marathon someday?
Never. They were telling me how their legs gave out like after like 14 miles, and I'm like, yeah, that was me after the 2-mile last year. Like I would be laying dead on the road if I even attempted that. That long distance running stuff is not for me for sure. So
How much do you think you, I guess, skate in terms of miles over the course of a game, though?
God, I don't even know. I know when I golf, I walk like 7 miles, 6 miles, but I mean, it's not like I'm running at their pace, but I mean, a shift in the game is only 45 seconds to a minute, so I mean, I guess I mean, it's a lot of work. It's not like you're running, you have a lot of gear on and stuff, but it's nothing close to what they run.
I just wonder how so many guys on this team, like you and Patty, cannot stand running, and yet both their coaches are fitness nuts over here.
Yeah, that honestly kind of scared me. I'm like, well, Layne got Laz into all this running stuff this year. I'm surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they make us do like a 10-mile or something and just be running with us. I'm like, oh, God. But, yeah, I don't really know any of the guys that really enjoy running that much. I think it's just kind of working on your legs and working on your arms, just getting stronger. And then you basically train for a 45 to minute long shift. So, I mean, you don't really, I mean, you do need endurance, but like long distance running is just not for me or anybody for that matter. But yeah, it's not my thing.
Well, we have a day off on Thanksgiving, so do you expect to wake up and have Layne call you and say, Thanksgiving 10K, meet me downtown or something like that?
I hope not. But I'm definitely going to load myself up with some Thanksgiving food that day and hopefully lose a couple of pounds in the Friday night and Saturday night game that weekend. But yeah, that would suck if you made us do that.
What's it like being A's, both you and Chase Beacom? What's it like being with him?
You know, Beaks is a good kid. I think it's going to be an honor this year being a captain with him. It's pretty special, you know, sharing that with him. And I've known Beaks for probably close to 10 years. You know, we become really good friends. Just being able to share that kind of honor with him, I think it's pretty special for both of us. And I think it'll be cool for guys to look up to us and like it was me like last year. Like I would look up to Z and Ruddy and Nico and Patty, of course, and now it's like kind of reversed. Like guys are looking up to us now, so I think it's pretty special. I think it'll help make the year go by better. If guys ever have any questions, we're always, all four of us are always there for them. So I think it'll be pretty cool.
How do you keep the mood and the culture in the locker room the way you want it to be?
I think we kind of try to have fun with it. We have our court every week. That kind of brings a lot of laughs. We play our music, do whatever in there. That's basically our home for 8 months where we're all together and stuff. And I think that's really where we bond, other than where we hang out outside the rink. But I think that's our main place where we can talk about whatever we want. Just do whatever and just get ready for practice and games in there. So it's pretty cool.
It's going to be weird for you, right, playing Minot and not having your good guy, good boy Nikolai Charchenko on the other side?
Know. Yeah, it'll definitely be a little weird. He played God knows how many games, over
at least 150,
150,
I think. Yeah.
I think he got 60 last year. But yeah, it'll be weird without Chara out there. He committed to Colorado College this summer, which was pretty cool, pretty special for him. But yeah, it'll definitely be a different kind of game without him out there, seeing him out there, giving him a little wink or something. But yeah, hopefully we'll see him in the future. But it'll definitely be different without him out there.
It's tough saying this about a Toro, but it just seems like he played the game the right way and was not one of the guys that we would get upset about the fact that he's on the other side. Do you look up to him in a way, being a captain yourself now?
Yep. So when I was a sophomore, he was a senior, and he was actually one of our captains at our high school. So I kind of looked up to him my freshman and sophomore year as being one of the older guys in high school, and he was always there for you if you ever needed him. And I feel like he is a captain material-like guy, and I think he'll do the same in college, which is pretty special. And I'm just wishing the best for him in that league.
All right, Luke Roelofs, thanks so much.
Thanks, Corey.
All right, stand by for Chase Beacom in a couple of minutes. This is the Bobcat Coaches Show on Super Talk 1270. We're back live from the Tap-In Tavern in Bismarck here on Super Talk 1270 and Facebook Live, Bobcat Coaches Show. Chase Beacom joins us.
Yep. Happy to be here.
Yeah, how are you?
Doing well, Corey.
This is your third full year already.
Well, we're not third full year yet. It's beginning of the year, but yeah, it's getting up there.
What's it like coming back, even though you've done this 2 prior times?
It's I'm happy to be back, and coming back for a third time, it's a lot easier than like my first year. Like obviously, I was younger, 17, and coming in, I didn't know anyone, and it was not as comfortable, and adapting wasn't as easy. But now, once you know everyone and get the feel of it, it's a lot more inviting, and I feel a lot better.
Even though you've already played over 100 games and you've got 2 years left, you could smash the Bobcat game played record. There's still nerves for you when you came in here?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's always it's always good to have some nerves, but I don't know. What is the record for the games played?
Well, it's Dan Kovar, and you would get it not this year, but early in a 4th year. So you'd essentially be running up the score for a full 4th year.
So is that getting to like
160s.
160s?
Yeah, I think it's just short of 170.
What's like top 5?
Top 5? Well, I mean, I can look on our page. But while I do that, I mean, was it weird being, you were 19 last year, right?
Yeah.
19 last year.
Yeah, towards the end of the year.
Yeah. Around that time, you got to your 100th game.
Yeah.
Knowing you've got 2 years left and you're already at 100 games, what is that like? What's that feeling like?
Obviously you got to be a little bit more confident as you get more games in. But I mean, obviously, I think it's still similar to the beginning. What I said, like nerves are always good. So if you have those nerves and continue playing with those nerves, it obviously kind of helps as long as you're confident.
I asked Rolly this. Back on Monday, you and Luke Roelofs were given A's for alternate captains on your jersey by Layne in front of everybody after Monday's practice. Did you expect that, and what was the feeling like when you heard that news?
When I heard it, I was excited, and I appreciated that from the coaches. But it's a big role to step into, and it's not a lot of people get it, so I gotta make sure I'm stepping up as a leader and filling in that role like the other people have in the past, and make sure I'm doing my part.
How do you do your part?
Making sure guys are all comfortable, being close with everyone, picking it up in a game. You always got to have someone stepping it up, and if you're working hard in a game, other people see that, and usually they follow. So you just got to keep working hard, and hopefully people follow on, and we can take this season for a long ride.
Well, here are the top 5 at games played. You're at 108 through 2 years. Dan Kovar's got 172. Bryce Schmidt, 166. Nick Wallace, 159. In 5th place is George Grandis, who you played with at 152. So if you play all 60 games, knock on wood, you'll be in 2nd place at the end of this regular season. And by the end of Showcase next year, you'd be tied for 1st place.
Yeah, that's
Can't
pretty
look too
crazy
far
to think
ahead, though.
about.
But
I'd be fine with
That's
kicking
wild.
George out of there, though.
I mean, you'd get there this year.
See you, George, if you're watching.
Is it great to be so reliable and have that longevity? How much does it take to play 60 games in a year?
Obviously it's definitely not easy. I know, like last year, I had my injury, so I missed a couple games, and it's not easy to play a full 60, but you just gotta keep up with all the work on the hips, and eat well and do all that stuff so you can play the 60 games.
What was it like getting back on the ice and being your usual self against the Aberdeen Wings yesterday in a couple of scrimmage wins?
I thought it was pretty fun to get back out there. Obviously, it's not the speed that we wanted at, and we got to get quicker, and there's things we have to fix. But just getting back into a game, and it's a little bit different than the inter-squad game we had, but just playing a game against another team was a lot of fun. And we just got to continue how we played, and make sure we're not getting sloppy and all that stuff.
You reverse checked a kid that was much bigger than you yesterday. Can we expect more of that this upcoming year?
Yeah, I think that's definitely a possibility. Um, I'm not afraid to throw my weight. So we'll see.
So for those who have not, seen Chase Beacom play or heard about him, we'll go over this once and never again because you're probably sick of hearing about it. But no one blocks more shots than Chase Beacom. Layne uses it as a point of motivation for it to be contagious, and every time I ask him the question, he'll say the same answer. He hopes more people block shots. He hopes Chase can block the most shots, but people can come up and challenge you for how many shots you block. You were the goalie growing up, played lacrosse, all that stuff. Are you sick of hearing about it?
Um, Sometimes it gets up there, but it's not it's not anything to be ashamed of. So, I mean, I don't mind I don't mind hearing it. I guess I enjoy it.
So some, calling you out for a good reason every once in a while, but don't harp on it.
Yeah, yeah.
I asked you this last year. For those who haven't heard, you don't even feel block shots anymore. It's like swatting away flies. Do you feel them?
I mean, no, not really. Like, we have padding, so and I don't turn my back on it, so it's not hitting me in the back. So it shouldn't hurt. I mean, maybe if you catch it in your hand, but otherwise, if you're blocking a shot right, it shouldn't be hurting.
How do you tell a rookie coming into this year and hearing Layne talk about how much you block shots? How do you tell them it doesn't hurt when it's a 90-mile-an-hour piece of rubber coming at you?
You have pads. That's all you can say, I guess. If you're blocking it correctly and you're in the shot lane, like, it's not going to be hurting you.
Is
for the
there a
most
correct
part.
blocking technique?
Not turning your back.
That's it? Just
Yeah.
wait for the shot to hit you and that's
Yep.
it?
Maybe turn your face if it's heading for the face, but otherwise, yeah, just don't turn your back.
What's the most rewarding thing about blocking shots?
Blocking shots. So probably PK. Like last year, there were a couple instances where there's PK blocked like 3 shots, got it out of the zone. That's probably when it feels the best.
Is your dad watching?
I'm not sure. I'm sure he will if he's not right now.
Well, we have to shout his pulled pork out.
All right.
We cannot
Yep.
wait for that this year.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure he'll be doing that. Yep.
What's it like having the support of, your dad, obviously, Luke Roelofs' dad, all the Minnesota dads coming out for all our home and most of our road games, too, and making food for us?
Yeah, it's awesome. I really appreciate him, and then I also appreciate my mom. She's a huge supporter, obviously, and she's a teacher, so she obviously can't get out all the games like my dad can, but it's huge to have the support, and same with my grandparents. They're always watching, so, it's nice.
What's it like going into Watford City, taking on Minot for 2 games coming up on Friday and Saturday?
I'm super excited. I think we have a good group of guys this year, and I think we got here a little earlier so we can fix some stuff that we didn't fix last year, and I think we'll go into it with a pretty much full roster and see what we can do.
All right, Chase Beacom, thanks so much.
Thank you, Corey.
All right, Hunter Laslo comes up to wrap up the Coaches Show on Super Talk 1270. Wrapping up the Bobcat Coaches Show from the Tap-In Tavern in Bismarck, Hunter Laslo with us to finish off. How are you, Las?
I'm doing well, Corey. How are you?
Doing great. You're doing well despite an 18-mile run. That's great to hear.
Yeah, the dogs are barking, but the morale is high, I guess. But the body is aching. But we did it and we completed it. That's all that matters.
You heard Luke Roelofs and Chase Beacom's comments about how much they don't want to run. Do you think you can get this team more into cardio?
I don't think it's that they don't enjoy cardio as a whole. I just think I'm still not a fan of running. It's probably my least favorite physical activity. But spending as much time together that Layne and I do, obviously over the course of the year, he's rubbed off a little bit. And obviously since I'm not playing anymore and jumping in a drill or two once a week or twice a week isn't enough exercise to keep me in shape. So picked it up with Layne. Obviously it's something that I've started to enjoy. It's a challenge, so that's another aspect of it that's good.
What's different between running on a treadmill versus actually in Bismarck?
I don't even know where to start. Running on a treadmill is makes running a lot harder. Being in one spot and just not being able to move outside. I don't know. I enjoy being outdoors, and so running outside versus inside in a gym with a million people in there is a lot more enjoyable to me. You get fresh air and could be in the sun. Other than when it's 96 degrees like it is today, it's not when you want to be running in the sun. But it's just hard. It's a different kind of feel too, being on a treadmill than on pavement or asphalt. It's probably a little easier on the body, but again, just I would say it's more mentally challenging being in a gym and having to run 16, 18 miles standing still basically in one spot than it is being able to look at stuff and whatever. So there's a different little aspect to both of them.
Does Layne have any runs ready to go for Watford City?
Yeah, we'll have some runs out there. We'll obviously have some bigger ones the following weekend when we're at the showcase. But he's got a program for me all set up. So he just he's the coach in that sense, and he's the coach obviously for the Bobcats. But he's my coach out of the ring for running. So he's got the training program. I just get a text and I show up. So that's my job.
Well, the games in Watford City against Minot last year were, for you, your first foray into coaching junior hockey. What do you expect here in year two?
I mean, I expect something similar, right? Everyone's been, and all these kids have been itching to get back into a game situation since the end of last year, whether it was the regular season or playoffs. I think it's, for us as coaching staff, the summer seems to fly by really fast. Not a lot of downtime, but for the players, they get to obviously go back home, enjoy themselves, take a little break, heal up from obviously a 60-game plus season. That can be quite a grind. I know you and Chase were talking about that a little bit earlier, what a grind it is to play 60 games in a year. It's hard on the body. It's mentally taxing. It's a lot of things. So I think everyone's recharged and ready to get back into it. Excited. I think training camp can, when you just have 2-3 weeks of practice, that's why I think scrimmaging Aberdeen was really beneficial. It gives us a different look against not our own guys, where it's not so predictable and stuff like that. It's good to have a live game against someone else, and obviously with the rivalry we have in Minot, it should be really competitive, and that's what we expect it to be, and expect obviously our guys to show up and play for 120 minutes on the weekend, and hopefully have a good result, and at the same time still guys in our locker room that are fighting for a roster spot. So excited to obviously see who shows up and who proves that they deserve to be here.
How'd you like your teams compete yesterday?
I thought it was good for the most part. I mean, mistakes definitely some things we need to shore up and correct, but that's kind of what was expected in it, right? Your first real live look at some guys in game situation, and I think for the most part it was super beneficial for Layne and myself, and obviously for Nico as well, who was watching back home once we got the film broke down, and gives us some really good insight on guys and how some line combinations worked. Got our power plays to get some live reps, which is good, obviously, before you head into the showcase and then into Minot as well in preseason. So definitely a lot to take from it. Some positives, some negatives, but definitely a time of the year where you need that kind of thing.
I really wish that one power play where all 5 guys touched the puck at once pretty much could have gone in Game 2 yesterday. That was as good of a power play try as we've seen in my time here in Bismarck.
Yeah, I mean, as a coach, you get really excited when you see that type of puck movement on a power play. It's a shame that that wasn't one of the reps that we capitalized on, but again, beneficial to know that's capable in that group. To obviously have that kind of chemistry, and then honestly, it kind of fell off a little bit on the last couple of power play reps that we had, but those are the beneficial reps you need before you head into the regular season. It's hard again in practice going against your own guys who know what your power play is like and who watch it every day. But it's a lot different when you get against another team in the league. People change up their systems every year, obviously personnel. So definitely beneficial in that sense to get our power play some live reps and to see who's working in certain spots if we need to make adjustments before we head into Minot this weekend.
Do you like those types of plays, even though it might not work out all the time, where all 5 guys touch the puck and the puck moves faster than people on skates, of course, plays like that?
Yes, absolutely. I like to see, obviously, how much we can get the opposing team's penalty kill to move and get out of position as well. When you move the puck like that quick, you get a lot of heads turning and a lot of bodies moving in places where you want them to go, so you can open up lanes on the weak side of the ice or up top with Chase or whoever's up there. Yeah, those are the kind of plays that we love to see. Unselfishness, letting everybody get a touch, and those are the times you have most success is when you have a bunch of guys all working together instead of a bunch of individuals.
Aside from, of course, getting 2 wins this weekend, if you're going to come out next coach's show and say Watford was successful, what's going to happen?
I'd like us to compete for 120 minutes, and I know that was kind of the moral of the story last year and last season. I said that a lot, and Layne did too, not just on the show here, but in the locker room. And so we want to compete for the entire weekend and execute well in our D zone. I think that's obviously where all the offense is generated off of good D zone play. And then sure up our neutral zone. We were a little sloppy against them in our neutral zone, forcing some pucks to the middle of the ice. So just want to sure up some things and try to play as a complete 120 minutes as we can.
All right, Hunter Laslo, thanks so much.
Thanks, Corey.
All right, stay tuned for the Bobcats and Minot from Watford City, Friday at 8 o'clock on Cool 98.7, our sister station, and Saturday at 7 o'clock right here on Super Talk Above 70. Bobcats and Toros playing 2 full preseason games at the Rough Rider Center in Watford City. Our next Bobcat Coaches Show is 2 Wednesdays from now. That's Wednesday, the 21st of September at 5 o'clock on the Tap-In Tavern and right here on Super Talk Above 70. Stay tuned for Bobcat hockey this weekend and for the Bobcat Coaches Show coming up in 2 weeks. So long from the Tap-In Tavern. This has been the Bobcat Coaches Show on Super Talk Above 70.